let me tell you what, it has been quite a day, quite a past 24 hours. And for once, I wasn't really involved, which made me happy. I did finally notice that I was actually in the videos today. I didn't actually notice that last night, but I wasn't actually directly involved, and I suppose we have to thank the Lord for small favors. Well, I don't know how heavily attended this chat is going to be tonight because, to be quite frank, most of my audience got built when I left the Democratic Party in 2020 because I realized what shills the Democrats had become and that the media had been lying to me my entire life, and I had bought into it hook, line, and sinker because I wasn't paying attention. I was focusing on my career. I was focusing on other things. And then I went to that Trump rally and I woke up and I realized that the Democratic Party and the media were lying to me, and I left. And I wrote about it, thinking no one would ever read it except maybe my family. And that launched me onto a course, or the journey I've been on for the past almost 3 years now. And that journey took me through the conservative movement, it took me through the Republicans, and I really thought maybe it was wishful thinking, I don't know. It must have been wishful thinking. I really thought the conservatives were better. I really did. And then they lost, and we can argue about how they lost, but the ultimate reality is that they lost. And then January 6th happened, and I was there for that, and I stood up for them for that, because the vast majority of them didn't know what was going on, and I knew that. And then after that, things started to change. And the conservatives started attacking anyone that didn't pass their purity test. And they exiled a lot of people like me. They've exiled me on multiple occasions. We've covered that on this channel. I've done multiple streams about how much more frequently I've been canceled by conservatives than I ever was by the Democrats. But I gotta tell you, the last 24 hours really take the cake. The last 24 hours really show me who conservatives are. And it shows me that they are no better than Democrats. And it makes me really depressed. Not because I didn't know it was the truth, because I always did. But it makes me depressed because conservatives know what the Democrats are. They can clearly identify what the Democrats are. And they truly believe that they have the moral, righteous high ground. Because they can't themselves acknowledge when they are acting like Democrats. And so I don't actually think I'm going to have a big audience for this stream today because most of my audience was built at a time when people thought they won me from the Democrats to the conservatives, and then they conveniently overlooked that I became a libertarian in April of 2021. They overlooked all that. They forget about that all the time, even to this day. And then every time I tell them something they don't want to hear, they ignore it. They make excuses. And they call names and hurl insults because that is all they know how to do. So we're going to talk about the last 24 hours today, but I want to lay the groundwork and just manage expectations for this stream. I was up until 4 a.m. last night because at 2 a.m. roundabout, I went live to immediately and thoroughly discredit this story that Don Bolduc shilled to the conservative press that someone had taken a swing at him at the debate. It is 100% false. There is no dispute that it is false at this point. It is 100% false that Don Bolduc was assaulted by a libertarian at the debate. Don Bolduc was not assaulted by anyone. And we have video evidence from 3 different cameras that clearly and explicitly show that Don Bolduc was not assaulted. And so last night, I went live around 2 a.m. and I had 2 of those videos at the time. The third one came in this morning. And I showed explicitly that Don Bolduc was not assaulted. This video was all available. We're going to watch the full video today, one of the full videos. So you can see there is no reality that exists in which Don Bolduc was assaulted. Absolutely none. And yet he still went on the debate stage last night and lied to score political points. And then his campaign lied to the national conservative press. And now, for the last, 20 hours or so, this story has been covered on Fox News, Newsmax, OAN. Benny Johnson tweeted it. Benny Johnson actually tweeted footage that explicitly showed that Don Bolduc was not assaulted, and he still pretended that Don Bolduc was assaulted. Washington Free Beacon, New York Post, Washington Examiner. Almost every major conservative media, Sebastian Gorka covered it. Every major conservative media outlet in the country that I know of has reported some variation on the story, the lie, the big lie, if you will, that Don Bolduc was assaulted last night when he was not. In fact, he was the one who threw the elbow. And yes, we have it on video from 3 different angles. And even with that video that I will play for you today, Kurt, you're going to have to sit tight. I have some things to say. If you would like to see the footage right now, you can go and watch the stream I did last night at 2 a.m. and you can see the footage there. But for right now, I'm going to say a couple of words. This is my fucking channel. I'll do what I want. Even with the video footage that we have from 3 different cameras, the conservative media is not retracting any of their stories. And even then, even when we put the video right in front of people, they make excuses. They say words are violence. They say, what were you doing so close to him in the first place? By the way, this all occurred on public property. Conservatives will say anything to defend their heroes when they downright lie. Last night, Don Bolduc broke New Hampshire state law when he got Joa, who is the libertarian activist, the anti-war activist that was asking him questions. Don Bolduc broke New Hampshire state law when he had Joa wrongfully arrested so that he could score sympathy votes in the last week leading up to the election. And conservative press is just running with this story as though it's true, even though there has been video evidence for almost 24 straight fucking hours saying that this is not true. And all the conservative minions are going, well, they always say they always say that we're the ones engaging in violence, but really it's the Democrats engaging in violence because they think that we're Democrats because they don't listen. Well, obviously it's not the Republicans engaging in violence. Well, yes, it was Republicans. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Don Bolduc was the one who threw the first elbow. And Don Bolduc's supporters were the ones who broke through the barricade and were swinging flagpoles. That's reality. It was the Republicans who got violent last night. It is clear as day. It is undisputed. Charges have now been filed against Don Bolduc, by the way, by the person that he got wrongfully arrested. He went to the police station just a couple hours ago to do this. I am so beyond disgusted with what I've seen today. No consideration for the truth at all. And Don Bolduc is now slowly walking back this story. He's saying, oh, no, when I said I was assaulted, I didn't really mean I was assaulted. He's walking it back because he knows that he broke New Hampshire state law. Here's another little thing. Maggie Hassan is also lying for Don Bolduc. Phil says, you even extended an olive branch to NHPR and Maggie Hassan, and they spit in our fucking face. Yes, they did. The Maggie Hassan campaign has also come out and is also pretending that there was an assault last night when there was not. And the reason, by the way, that the Maggie Hassan campaign is doing this is because they're pissed at the LPNH because last week we antagonized their supporters outside of NHPR because they pay all their supporters to be there. They pay them $20 an hour. We found the job description. It's either $20 an hour for like just a one-off, or they have a $2,500 like fellowship that they can sign up for too. They pay their supporters to be there, and we pointed that out directly on multiple occasions. And so the Maggie Hassan campaign, because they're pissed off at us for antagonizing them and exposing that they pay all their supporters and have no organic grassroots support at all, came out, ignored video evidence from 3 different cameras, and said, we just think it's horrible that Don Bolduc was assaulted. Don Bolduc wasn't assaulted. That didn't happen. So, we're going to watch some video. The first video I want to show you is the full video. Because when you see the part where Don Bolduc says he was assaulted, but he was obviously not assaulted, the line I've been getting from conservatives all day is, you aren't showing the part of the video where Don Bolduc was assaulted. You cut the part out of the video where Don Bolduc was assaulted. All right, conservatives, let's start by showing you the full video that I didn't show you last night because it's a little bit long and a little bit boring. But since you want to play this game, I am more than happy to show you the full video. So this is where we're going to start. Actually, let me show you what I have on deck. We are going to start by watching the full video that was posted on Facebook 22 hours ago. This includes a lot of people just standing around and cheering, but what you're going to be able to see emphatically is that there is no reality in which Don Bolduc was assaulted. There was nothing cut out of any of the video that's going around on Twitter right now. Nothing was edited out. This is the full, original, raw footage. We're going to watch that. Then we're going to watch, and this footage, by the way, you see this video that Benny Johnson posted, which, by the way, came from me. Benny Johnson posted this video. This video that Benny Johnson posted is a clip from this video. So we're going to see that Benny Johnson is a dirty fucking liar. That's the video that I originally posted on Twitter last night, was this video. We aren't going to need to watch that again because it's a part of this overall video. I just wanted to show you that Benny Johnson is a shill and a fucking, like, to put God as the first thing in your Twitter profile when you're blatantly lying about people to get them falsely arrested. That's like next level bullshit. I'm sorry. So after we watch the full video, next we are going to watch Ian Freeman's video. This is video that has multiple different angles in it, and Ian has also slowed some of the footage down so you can clearly see what happened. That's the second video we're going to watch. The last video we're going to watch comes from Bill. Bill was also there last night, and Bill has a different camera angle. And we are going to watch every single one of these things. And I'm going to slow it down, and I'm going to show you that there was no assault. So, King Peter of the chat, so I continue to disagree with you about strategic voting and consider myself a conservative, but you're totally in the right on this bulldog nonsense. Only members of literal every tribe can. Yeah, I mean, I know this is the most frustrating thing for me, Peter. Like, I can understand, like, making a strategic choice. I cannot understand lying and denying evidence. Did the guy get charged? Joa got charged with trespass and disorderly conduct, even though he was on public property. He got released last night, and he was not charged with assault, by the way, trespass and disorderly conduct. And today, Joa went back to the police station to file charges against Don Bolduc. And you're going to see why. But Don Bolduc got Joa falsely arrested. And you can, and the excuse that conservatives are going to give is Joa acts like a crazy person with the cops. Yes, Joa acts like a crazy person with the cops. It's not necessarily my favorite thing. I don't necessarily get why he's quite that antagonistic with the cops, and I know coming from me that really says something. However, I don't give a flying F how antagonistic Joa is with the cops on his channel. That is completely separate from the fact that Don Bolduc got him wrongly arrested to score points. Disgusting. So we're going to watch the first video. Hang on, I got to get the tab back up. Which one is it? This one. This video is 8 minutes long. It's going to show you, I believe that this video, and I'll make it as big as I can. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Well, that definitely made it a little bit bigger. So what you're going to see in this is basically we are outside of the building where the debate last night happened, and there's nothing around this building. So this is literally both campaigns, both the Bolduc campaign and the Hassan campaign, bust in supporters, and that's not an exaggeration. I have pictures of the actual buses. They bust in supporters, and their supporters made these walls of signs that they were going to use for a photo op. But there's nothing around this building. Literally, the only people that were even around here were the bust-in Maggie Hassan supporters, the bust-in Don Bolduc supporters, and the libertarians, who were not bust-in and all came of our own volition. So that's what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of people yelling and making noises, and you're going to see the two candidates drive in so they can get their photo op, and then the alleged assault is going to unfold. This is about 8 minutes long, and we're just going to watch this. So you guys see how they have those giant signs set up? This is going to become important later. They set those signs up. There was no barrier. Because a lot of hay has been made today about he broke through the barrier. There was no barrier. They set these signs up to have a photo op. There was no barrier. Every single person you see here is on public property. They created the barrier by setting the signs up. We, the libertarians, did not have a barrier because we didn't bring giant signs with us. We brought bullhorns instead. See, that's us over there on the other side. This is Bolduc. Okay, so Bolduc gets out. So Bolduc has just arrived, okay? So any idea that any part of this clip was edited out will now be dispelled. Bolduc has just arrived at the venue, and he's going to walk up and down the line, hugging and high-fiving his supporters. Hang on, I want to answer a question. Dave123R asks, are those all staffers for the campaign? No. So there is a difference between Maggie Hassan supporters and Don Bolduc supporters. Maggie Hassan supporters, 100% of the people you see with the Maggie Hassan signs are paid to be there. They are either paid by the hour or they are paid with a fellowship with the campaign. There are 0 volunteers, 0 activists, 0 grassroots support for Maggie Hassan. 100% of them are paid. Don Bolduc supporters are a little different. Don Bolduc supporters were absolutely bussed in for this. I have multiple pictures of them getting out of the shuttle bus. However, Don Bolduc supporters are actual Don Bolduc supporters. They do like him. They do, like, many of them are actually real activists. So these are not all staffers for the campaign. There were only a couple paid staffers for the campaign. I'll point out one of them specifically because he's a douchey frat bro and I don't like him. But most of the people there for Don Bolduc are actually like they're real people that do actually like Don Bolduc. So it is a little bit different between the two.
USA! USA!
Maggie had already arrived.
Hey, sir.
We're here at the St. Anselm College, the New Hampshire Institute of Politics, on Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022, at the before the debate organized by WMUR. And this is Don Bolduc, the election candidate for the Republicans. You can see.
See, okay. So I want to point something out. So this is Jess Pelletier with the Kaufman sign. That's Jess Pelletier. She is the wife of Nolan Pelletier, who is the chair of the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire. This guy in the white, this is the douchey campaign manager. And this guy's mission in life is to prevent Don Bolduc from talking to libertarians. This guy right here. This guy has kicked anytime a libertarian went to a Don Bolduc event to ask Don Bolduc questions about his stance on the war, this guy would kick them out of the event. So we were not allowed to get near him. We were not allowed to ask any questions. And any time that Don Bolduc has even come close to being next to a libertarian for weeks now, this guy has run right over to try to run interference. And so you're going to see this multiple times in this video. Watch out for this guy. This guy tried to get me arrested last night for asking Don Bolduc a question. That's not an exaggeration. It's not on video. It happened after the alleged assault. But this guy literally tried to get me arrested last night for asking Don Bolduc a question. Let's continue.
God bless America. How you doing?
Oh, that's it. Boom. That's it. Now, up until that moment, did anyone see anyone throw a punch? We'll rewind and watch this again. We're going to watch this probably a dozen times on this stream. That was the moment of the alleged assault. Don't worry, we're going to slow it down so you can really see what happened. You're going to see it from several angles. That was the moment of the alleged assault. Did anything happen up until that point that could have remotely been considered assault? No. So let's just back it up just a little bit. And now this is the point where the alleged assault happened. You can hear Don Bolduc say, he hit me, he hit me. You can hear their campaign manager say he assaulted them. No assault happened. Let's keep going.
USA! 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 USA!
Maybe they do actually catch me on camera. I don't know. They might actually catch me on camera. I don't know. Nope, they didn't. Now Don Bolduc's going inside.
So yeah, General Don Bolduc is down here to shake hands with all the supporters that been here in the dark, holding all the signs this way too.
So I just want it noted for the record that Don Bolduc was so shaken by the assault that he continued to go around hugging his supporters in the dark. That's how nervous Don Bolduc was for his safety. Because there was no assault. It didn't happen.
I'm gonna win. We got this.
All right. God bless you, General. Win.
And now he's going inside. that's it. That's it. That is the full, unedited video. Now what we're going to do is we're going to watch another angle. That is the video that Benny Johnson shared earlier today saying an unhinged lunatic had assaulted Don Bolduc. Let's watch Ian Freeman's footage. This is going to give us a little bit more clarity about what happened. This is going to show multiple camera angles. He's also going to slow it down so that you can really see what happened. Let's watch.
How you doing?
So what you're going to see is Joa, and Joa is, I'll back this up just a little bit. We're going to do this multiple times, guys. I'm going to beat this dead horse until it's good and dead. So what you see is Joa, who's this guy right here. Oh, hang on. I didn't mean to start that. Hang on. So Joa comes up. This guy right here. There's the douchey campaign bro that I told you. Anytime a libertarian tries to get near Don Bolduc, this asshole is not far behind. And then you have Don Bolduc. This is the person here, the one in the middle, Joa, who they are saying assaulted Don Bolduc. Joa came up. He has a camera in his right hand, and his left hand is behind his back. And what you're going to see is that Chris Ager, who is an official within the Republican Party, the New Hampshire GOP, this guy right here is going to break through the barrier, the signs. He's a Republican. He's a Bolduc supporter. He's going to put his hands on Don Bolduc's back. Then there is another Bolduc supporter who is carrying a flag. And that Bolduc supporter had been riled up and pissed off at us for a good hour and a half before this happened. I'm not going to say we didn't cause him to be pissed off. We did cause him to be pissed off. I was personally taunting that guy. But I didn't engage in violence. I was taunting him with words. Words are not violence, Republicans. So the guy with the flag was really pissed off at us. And so he broke through the barriers and swung the flagpole. There it is. The only people who engaged in aggressive behaviors were Don Bolduc, and we're going to see that in a second because Don Bolduc threw an elbow. Chris Ager, who broke through the barrier in the first place. And I think Chris is a good guy, so I'm not actually trying to shit talk Chris here. But, he broke through the barrier that they created. And the guy with the flagpole who swung the flagpole. We're going to see this from another angle. It's going to become very, very clear. Okay, this is angle 2. All right? Campaign douche. See, I want to show you this because this is important. Look it. So Bolduc is walking over. We see Bolduc over here. Campaign bro sees Joa going to ask him a question. And this guy's whole mission in life is to make it so Don Bolduc never answers questions about his record on war asked by libertarians. So you're going to see this guy start to run up because he wants to keep Don Bolduc far away from libertarians as he possibly can. And then you're going to see Joa. There he is. Camera. Hand behind his back. There's a good... I thought it was I said 6 inches last night. There's a good 1.5 feet between Joa and Don Bolduc. Campaign bro is trying to get Joa to shut up and go away. This is all on public property. Don Bolduc, as soon as Joa went up, you'll see Don Bolduc pointing right there, pointing. What he's saying is he's calling the cops to tell them to arrest Joa. Joa hasn't done anything. Joa didn't swing. He had a camera and called Don Bolduc a war criminal, and that was about it. Cops come over. Cops are coming up to arrest Joa. Joa's hands are still not swinging. Then they break through the barrier. Joa backs up. And then they pull him away. And you can see the guy with the flag, the Bulldog supporter with the flag. We'll watch this. I didn't do this last night. This guy right here with the hat and the flag. Watch what he does. This is Don Bolduc supporter with the flag. The guy with the green right here. He pushed Joa and got in his face. And that was the same guy that swung the flagpole earlier. Now we're going to start to see it in slow motion. You can see Joa's hand is behind his back. He is holding a camera in his other hand. Chris breaks through. Flag guy breaks through. And there it is. There it is. Don Bolduc, and there's me, by the way. I didn't even realize I was in this video last night. That's me. So you can see right here. So Joa has come up. He's asked a question. Don Bolduc supporters broke through the barrier to attack Joa. Watch this. Check this out. Don Bolduc elbowed Joa. We'll go back a little bit because I missed it. There it is. So Joa comes up, hand behind his back. Don Bolduc's pointing to the cops. Then Don Bolduc, boom, right there. Don Bolduc threw the elbow. It was not Joa. It was Don Bolduc. He threw the elbow. And then you can see Chris right here and Flag Asshole right here breaking through the barriers with their eyes targeted on Joa because they're coming to attack him. Chris puts his hand on Don Bolduc's back right there. Joa's like, what the fuck? He notices them coming. Joa starts to back up. Joa's backing up. Joa's backing up. Joa's backing up. He's still not swinging. This is just a replay. There's Don Bolduc elbowing Joa. There are his supporters coming in, going after him. Now we zoom out again. And this is the cops coming in. And this is, look at this. Look at this asshole. Don Bolduc, after he elbowed Joa, put his hand on his arm like, you hit me. You hit me. That is the, look at Don Bolduc right there. He is pretending that his arm is hurt. Let's just watch this again. Slow-mo. Don Bolduc elbows Joa in the chest and then immediately clutches his own arm as though his arm was hurt and pretends that Joa punched him. And then Don Bolduc took several steps back and yelled several times, "He hit me, he hit me, he hit me."
Whoa. I'm not on the property. You are. No, I'm not.
Joa was saying, I'm not on the property, I'm not on the property, and he was not on the property. He was in... I specifically asked the police officers earlier that night, where are we allowed to be and where are not allowed to be? Because I wanted to know what was actually off limits. Joa was not in the area where the police told us that we couldn't be. He was on public property, which he's saying, but the police, of course, aren't listening. And then you've got Don Bolduc supporters in the background. USA, USA.
When did I go on the property?
He's getting your
When? You can take his camera. Please take his camera. When was I on the property? I wasn't on the property. I didn't see it. Hey, I was just right there. The sidewalk was right there. I was not on the property. You witnessed it.
He's clear out of my lane.
You witnessed
He's
it.
clear out of my lane of travel. He's clear out.
You guys witnessed I was not trespassing. You're good, man. They take him off. They take him off. They take him off.
Look,
show me where I.
That cop, and this was actually kind of like a nice cop. He was even saying to Joa, "You're good, dude. You're good. You're good." They knew. They knew that Joa didn't trespass because they had told us where we could be and where we could not be earlier in the night.
I was trespassing. I went from there.
New Hampshire can be free with your help.
And so that is Ian's video. Is that confusing to anyone? We're going to watch one more. And this is a video that Bill has put together, and it's more of a compilation, and you're going to see the media, the conservative media, and how they covered this. You're going to see the slow-mo footage again, and then you're going to see Don Bolduc announcing in the debate that we really need to do something about all of this political violence when he was not assaulted in any way. Let's watch this video from Bill.
It's a sign of political problems, Republicans and Democrats, that fuel issues with people, that get them to the point where they are just so upset at an individual that they strike out at them. Happened to me outside just before I came in here, right?
Oh, really, Don? Really? Did it? You were assaulted, Don? Is that what you said in the debate? And conservative media has been running with this all day. Lie after lie after lie. When all of this video, well, not Bill's video, but the original video that we watched earlier, the clip that I posted on Twitter, and I think most importantly, the clip that Ian Freeman made, because that's probably one of the best clips that exists. All of this video was available last night. I played my video and Ian's video on a stream last night at 2 a.m. I had this all posted to Twitter by 3 a.m. before I went to bed. Every single bit of this footage was available to the conservative press. Every single bit of it. And not a single one of them. Not Fox News, not Breitbart, not the Washington Examiner, not the New York Post, not any of the outlets that said Don Bolduc was attacked at the debate. Not a single solitary one of them availed themselves of the clear video that was available from multiple angles. And they still, to this day, to this hour, I shouldn't say to this day, it hasn't even been 24 hours. They have still not, to this hour, retracted the stories they made. I have seen stories from conservative media saying Don Bolduc was punched last night outside of the debate stage. They're not just saying that he had a little scuffle. They are literally reporting that Don Bolduc was punched. And then some places are saying, well, he just took a swipe at him. And neither of those things are true. And I could almost live with that, because I expect the media to lie. I expect all media to lie. But to actually have spent my entire day arguing with conservatives who refuse to look at the video. I have been called every name in the book today by conservatives. My college boyfriend has been dragged through the mud again today by conservatives because they're so pissed off that their candidate fucked up like this within a week of the election that they are again defaming me and dragging someone I dated in college through the mud to try to discredit the video. I've heard, you were always a leftist, you're just an insane person, repeatedly today. Oh, really, conservatives? I'm insane? I'm insane? I'm not the one who's denying evidence. Don Bolduc could have apologized today. Don Bolduc could have released a statement once the clear, incontrovertible evidence was released to say, you know what? It was really quick. I didn't know what happened. I've seen the video. I was wrong. I would have had so much more respect for Don Bolduc had he done that. Because he's obviously seen the video at this point. He and his campaign have obviously seen the video. He could have just released a statement saying, it was fast, it was furious, there was a lot going on, there was a lot of noise. I thought something happened that didn't happen. Maybe someone brushed me and I didn't know where it came from, and I was wrong, and I'm sorry that I got an innocent man arrested. He didn't do that. His campaign didn't do that. Conservative media didn't do that. And they made every excuse in the book. They have been posting Joa's mugshot all over social media today. And Joa, because, you know, I'm sorry, Joa, you're a little ridiculous. I'm sorry. Like, and I mean that in the best, most endearing possible way. I really do. So Joa, because he knew that this wasn't going to stick, made crazy eyes in his mugshot. So he looks kind of like this, like he made crazy eyes in his mugshot because he was making a face. And that has been plastered all over conservative media today. And you know what the conservatives are doing? They're going, oh, look, they always have crazy eyes. Those crazy leftists who just assault Republicans willy-nilly, they always have crazy eyes. They're insulting anyone who tries to show them the video. They're demeaning people. They're spitting in the faces of all of us who were there last night. This is who they are. You know, I learned if there's anything I've learned in the past 3 years, I'll tell you what. It's well, politics attracts the lowest type of human being on the planet. That's not to say that everyone who's into politics is the lowest form of human being. because I like to think that the people, at least who watch my channel, are not the lowest form of human being. Yeah, Phil's making a great point. Those of us who are trying to tell the truth today, to show the video, were called pedos over and over and over and over and over and over again. So that term doesn't mean anything anymore. Conservatives are using pedo in the same way that leftists are using racist. Congratulations, conservatives. You're no different than the monster you're fighting. Incognito says, part of army values is honor and integrity. Well, Don Bolduc does not have honor and integrity. I'm sorry. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't dislike Don Bolduc up until this point. Did I want him to win? No. I don't think that Don Bolduc and Maggie Hassan are really all that different. This is another mistake conservatives make. They really think that everyone believes that Republicans are better than Democrats. I don't think that Republicans are any different than Democrats. So whether Don Bolduc or Maggie Hassan wins, it really didn't make any difference to me up until like today. And I want Don Bolduc to lose now, because he did not do the right thing. He got a friend arrested for a crime he didn't commit on video, 3 different camera angles, and he couldn't be man enough to come out and apologize. No, there are a grand total of no conservative influencers who are being honest. There are a couple of media outlets who are starting to report the truth. I have to give a shout out to National Review. National Review was the first major media outlet to report that that the video evidence did not back up what the Bolduc campaign said. So National Review. WMUR posted video and basically kind of said there wasn't really any assault. That's it. No one else has retracted. Well, it's funny you bring up Glenn Beck. I emailed Glenn Beck this morning the video footage. And I said to him, and this is in his private email, so I know he got it. I said to him, a lot of outlets are reporting this wrongly, and I want you to see the evidence to know that it is not true that Don Bolduc was assaulted. Please do not report that Don Bolduc was assaulted. I don't know if Glenn Beck reported he was or wasn't. I don't know if the Blaze reported if he was or wasn't, but I will be exceptionally disappointed because I really do like Glenn Beck, and I think Glenn Beck has a lot of integrity. I will be extremely disappointed if I discover that Glenn Beck reported that Don Bolduc was assaulted, or if the Blaze reported that Don Bolduc was assaulted and didn't issue some sort of a retraction once they saw the evidence. So I don't know. I've been busy all day. I didn't listen to his show, so I'm... You know, I've been stabbed in the back so much over the last 3 years. When I came into this world, I was one of those people that I usually try to give people the benefit of the doubt, because I think that the vast majority of people, and I could be wrong about this, but the vast majority of people are good people trying to do the best they can. Yes, there are assholes. Yes, there are nefarious actors. But I think that there's more good than bad in the world. And so I generally try to give people the benefit of the doubt. So if they say something to me, I'm going to assume that they're acting in good faith until I have a reason not to. The last 3 years and this world of politicos and content shills and influencers have made me lose faith in humanity as a collective. I really thought during 2020 that the conservatives cared about the truth. Facts don't care about your feelings. We make decisions rationally, not emotionally. Oh, really? And I spent so much of my time trying to get people to see them in a different way. Trying to get people like me who were Democrats and who always thought that the right was evil. After I woke up and I realized how much I had been lied to, I only wanted to wake up other Democrats. And I spent so much time. I basically gave up my entire 2020. Everything that I had planned to do that. And almost every single person has stabbed me in the back since then. It's been bullshit like this. Over and over and over and over and over again. And to now have this incident where I was physically there. I was in some of that video footage. I was physically there. I saw firsthand. I was right up close. Here, let me show you. I think it's in Ian's video. There I am, right there, in the blue hoodie with the yellow stripes. There I am, right there, running up. That's how far away I was. I knew that Joa didn't assault Don Bolduc from the moment that it happened. I didn't even need to see the video footage. And then to see the video footage on top of it and to see how egregiously wrong it all was. And then on top of that, to have it take over conservative media like wildfire. To have it be reported everywhere. With no consideration for what the truth is at all, and not even the audience cares what the truth is. And then to be insulted over and over and over again. Oh, you're just a crazy person, Carlin. Oh, really am I? Really? You're a pedo and a pedo supporter. Oh, really? You're just a liberal. You were always a leftist. Oh, really? Really? That is what conservatives do every time. Every single time that you have something to say that they don't want to hear, and that has been true for the past 3 years. This is why I have, and no offense to the conservatives right now who are listening and watching the video and acknowledging what happens, because I am going to acknowledge that there are conservatives who see the evidence and are like, bro, you're lying. But there are a lot who are not. And I think why I'm so offended by the entire thing is that conservatives can identify what's going on with the left to some extent, but they are incapable of looking themselves in the mirror and realizing when they are doing the exact same thing. They are incapable of admitting fault. They are incapable of admitting when they're wrong. They have a rigid mindset that is not adaptable to new information at all. And when you tell them something they don't want to hear, they insult you and they demean you. I almost had someone spit on me yesterday. And I'm not talking like a little, like this dude hawked up a fucking loogie and then was told not to by one of the campaign people. We literally almost on video had a moment that rivaled what happened to Alex Stein at Penn State. That is not an exaggeration. Joel was filming the whole thing. If that asshole had spit on me like he wanted to, I would have had my own Penn State video, except it would have been conservatives who'd done it and not leftists. So why should I think you're any different? The only people that I have seen consistently act in a principled way are the libertarians. And not even all the libertarians, because a lot of the libertarians suck. Let's be honest, they do. But the only people that I have seen behave in a consistently principled way for the last 2 years at least have been the libertarians. It has not been the left and it has not been the right. Phil says, as of right now, I'm not seeing anything on the Blaze. That's awesome. I have always thought that the Blaze was better than most conservative outlets. So I'm really glad to hear that. Laura says, we shouldn't be like Katie Hobbs when she accused Carrie Lake of breaking into her campaign offices. That's exactly right. You're not better, conservatives, if you act just like them. You're not better. You're not more righteous. You're not more moral. You're not more ethical. You're not more worthy. You're just like them when you do this. No articles on the Daily Wire either? Well, that's surprising. And conservatives won't listen. Well, I shouldn't say that. There are some conservatives here and you guys are listening. But my view count is significantly lower than what it usually is on any other live stream I do right now because conservatives don't want to hear this. I have posted multiple video clips since last night of this, and all of my views have been lower because conservatives don't want to hear it. They're not interested in the truth. They're only interested in what will help their tribe. And I realized this a long time ago, but I really hope that for those of you, and I know so many of you that are either watching right now or will watch at some point, because I know I went live at a different time today than I usually do. I know that so many of you aren't even conservatives. You're people that followed me from the red pill journey. You're people that are like former lefties, just like me, that got disaffected with the left because the left went insane. And you followed me on that journey. And you were maybe never a conservative. Maybe you voted Republican once, maybe in 2020, but like it wasn't really like a thing. And I've always had trouble really communicating to that audience because I tend to see things, I tend to see things a lot sooner than a lot of other people. I tend to be about, and I'm not saying this makes me better or anything, I'm very good at reading social systems because I'm an organizational psychologist. So I can look at a group of people and I can see the trends emerging from what I see being expressed in that group of people. I can see it very, very clearly and I can see it really quickly. Just because I've done so much of this. So this is not an insult. This is not me saying I'm any better than anyone else. But for some things, I can be a lot ahead of other people. I can see things a lot more clearly. I can identify trends much earlier. And I started seeing this a year and a half ago on the right. And I have had one hell of a time trying to explain to people that the right is turning into the left. And I've lost a lot of members of my audience who couldn't see it. They couldn't see it and they thought I was going back to being a leftist or any of these things. And they hurled insults as they always do. And they say, why don't you lose weight? Or like, that's one of their favorite insults, by the way. And And I just took it and kept going because I knew I was right. And I hoped that someday they would see it. And if you don't see it after this, I just don't know what to tell you any longer. It is clear. It is incontrovertible. There is no reality in which Don Bolduc told the truth. There is no reality in which conservative media told the truth. And it's so disappointing. For the side that claims to be on logic and reason and truth and facts and morality and ethics. They're just as tribal as the left, and they always were. I'm just talking now. I'm working through some feelings. Mostly because I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. Phil says Sarah G on The Blaze and Why It Matters did not cover it today. Good. Good. I'm really glad they didn't. Peter says canceling is strictly a tribal thing for every side. Have you watched what Mark Victor said? It's actually compelling. I agree with you, Peter. Mark Victor, who is the libertarian that dropped out in Arizona when he shouldn't have, what he actually said that got him in trouble was a principled libertarian stance. It was. People might not have liked to hear it. It may not have been, it probably wasn't the most appropriate go-to for that moment, but you know, it's apparently what came to mind. But what he said was actually a deeply principled stance. And Mark Victor is a very principled libertarian. If you actually had read his platform, but no, we couldn't see that. We couldn't see it because we have to inflame everything. I sometimes feel like I'm just like all alone. Like I'm pretty militant in my view. I'm pretty like militant and inflexible about some of the things I believe right now. Gets me into trouble sometimes, as you guys know. But there are certain things that I'm just not willing to compromise on right now. And you know, basically things like I'm not going to shill for Don Bolduc because I don't believe that the Republican is better than the Democrat. I'm not going to cover for Don Bolduc because I don't believe that he's better than Maggie Hassan. I think they're the same. So it makes no difference to me who wins. I don't think we should coddle people. Like in my opinion, and this is, you know, there are a lot of people who consider themselves to be libertarians that are not members of the Libertarian Party, and I understand that, and that's fine. Do whatever you want to do. I don't really care. But for people who are in the Libertarian Party to vote for and shill for Republicans, unless there is a pretty damn good strategic reason to do so, and I will acknowledge that in New Hampshire, we sometimes do have strategic reasons for doing so. But unless there is a damn good strategic reason for doing so, to have people who claim to be libertarians shilling for people like Don Bolduc, who are trying to get people wrongfully arrested so they can score political points, I find that to be disgusting. I have gotten blocked today and have blocked myself several people in the that are libertarians in like the liberty movement in New Hampshire because I'm not putting up with their bullshit. I'm sorry. And they want to get their panties in a twist. Carlin, Jeremy can't win. Jeremy can't win. Jeremy can't win. Jeremy can't win. I don't care if Jeremy can win. Jeremy winning was never the point. I'm not going to vote for Don Bolduc just because you demanded it. It will not happen in any way. And I will not be disappointed if he loses to Maggie Hassan. And I will not care that Jeremy Kauffman pulled votes away from him. I do not care. And I certainly don't care after the last 24 hours. Well, no, you don't avoid it, though. This is the point. You don't avoid it. Don Bolduc is no different than a leftist. There is zero difference between Don Bolduc and a leftist. So how in God's name do you think you're avoiding an authoritarian utopia by putting people who would vote for an authoritarian utopia in office? This is the mistake that people make. Conservatives aren't conserving anything. They're conserving nothing. They aren't fighting for anything. Ted Cruz the other day tweeted, "Abolish the IRS." Ted Cruz is a sitting senator. Ted Cruz can introduce a bill. Will Ted Cruz ever introduce a bill? No. Because all he does is talk a good game on Twitter, and you guys think that that is saving the union, and it is not. Don Bolduc lied last night on the debate stage and all over conservative media to put an innocent man in jail. And you're going to tell me that he's better than the authoritarian left? Don Bolduc's campaign manager tried to have me arrested last night for asking Don Bolduc why he supported war with Russia. That's real. It's not caught on film that I know of. But that happened right after this incident. You're going to tell me that Don Bolduc is better than an authoritarian leftist when his campaign tried to get me arrested last night for asking him why he supports the war in Russia? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to politely disagree. Conservatives believe that just because someone is in their tribe, that means they're good and they're going to fight against the left. And then they get into office and they consistently do nothing. What you are not hearing is that the alternative is not worse. The alternative is the same. It is the same. They are the same. They are no different. There is no better. There is no worse. They are the same. So the conservatives might get their red wave next week. They might not. I don't really know, and I don't even really care at this point. Unwokeable, I'll give you a text later. I know you're watching right now. And it's really disappointing. If you have no principles, then you are. I don't know how this is so difficult to understand. As a libertarian, you should want a government that does nothing. I don't want any government at all. I don't want any government at all. Don Bolduc wants to go to war with Russia and China at the same time. Don Bolduc is not better than the libertarian that I'm going to vote for on November 8th. I'll tell you that right now. And that's who you selected, conservatives. You guys could have selected Bruce Fenton. If the Republican Party in New Hampshire had nominated Bruce Fenton for Senate, Jeremy Kauffman would have dropped out. That's real. If the Republican Party, well, no, they both do. This is the point that you are not understanding. They both want the same fucking thing. They both want it. Your guy wanting it is not better than the other one wanting it. They are the same. If the Republicans had nominated Bruce Fenton in New Hampshire, Jeremy Kauffman would have dropped out of the race. Bruce Fenton was a candidate that we could have supported. But they didn't do that. Bruce Fenton got, what did he get? Like 4% maybe? Republicans need to lose because they need to learn that they need to be fucking better. Because right now, what they are learning is that they can act like children and like leftist authoritarians, and that's acceptable behavior. It is not acceptable behavior. Not for me. Peter, right now I pretty much consider myself an ANCAP. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but I pretty much consider myself an anarcho-capitalist at this point. So yeah. But there are a lot of libertarians who are anarcho-capitalists. So it's not correct to say I'm not a libertarian. You know, I was so lucky. I wanted to make a video about this anyway, so why don't I just talk it out now? I was so lucky with the entryway that I had into the Libertarian Party. And I'm only now realizing how lucky and how blessed I was. Now, no, I still have not read the 12 economics books that I was given to read when I joined the Libertarian Party in April of 2021. But I almost didn't have to. Well, no, I still do need to. I still do. I promise I'll read the books at some point. But I was lucky because I came in. Okay, Unwokeable, I'll give you a call. Sorry. He's texting me and asking me to call him because I blocked him on Twitter a while ago. I was lucky because when I came into the Libertarian Party, it was a year before the Reno Reset takeover. And the reason that I joined the Libertarian Party was because of the Mises Caucus. Because the Mises Caucus convinced me they were different. And they talked about issues that I cared about. And I didn't see a better alternative. I didn't like the Republicans anymore. I thought that the Republicans were lazy and weren't going to do anything. And I thought, well, you know, if I'm going to lose anyway, I might as well lose for something I believe in. And so I ended up joining the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire and the Libertarian National Party. And I was involved in the Reno Reset takeover, one of hundreds of people that were involved in that. And a month after I joined was when they staged the coup of the New Hampshire Libertarian Party. So the then chair of the Libertarian National Party staged a coup in New Hampshire to try to take over our state party because he was pissed off that the Mises Caucus was running the show in New Hampshire. Emily says, I can't stay any longer, but I support you. I appreciate it, Emily. Thank you. And so that was like a whirlwind to be involved in that. And not only to be involved in it, but to be involved in it from the inside, because I was like at that time in the communications committee group. And so I was literally one of the people that knew the minute that it started, because people were just texting into the group saying, we got our Facebook access taken away. We got our Twitter access taken away. What the hell's going on? And so I was involved in it from the inside, like going to all these meetings with people, trying to learn what was going on, trying to figure out the bylaws, like piecing together who all the players in the Libertarian Party were. And then after the New Hampshire coup, there was Pennsylvania, and there was Massachusetts. And I won't go into all the Libertarian Party drama, but basically from a month after I joined the Libertarian Party in April of 2021 up through the Reno reset, it was a constant fight. And because of that, I ended up learning so much so quickly. I was one of those people that was put into the crash course of libertarianism. I was watching Karen Ann Harlos almost every single night. Karen Ann Harlos is the current secretary of the Libertarian National Committee. She has a channel called Pink Flame of Liberty, and she was streaming constantly, trying to explain things, breaking things down, explaining Robert's Rules of Order, explaining party history. Thank God for Karen Ann Harlos. I have learned so much from that woman. And as she was talking through the different issues of the party, she would explain different kind of like just principles and how you look at things and how you think through things. And she does it with such detail. She's a wonderful teacher. And so I was watching her streams almost every single night for months and months and months, learning. I was going to LNC meetings because all of the Libertarian Party stuff is completely open and public. So I would go to meetings and just watch and listen. I would go to their judicial committee hearings where they were like adjudicating some of these issues, and I would listen to the arguments being made. And I really started to get a really good understanding of the bylaws and all this stuff. And in the end, I was involved in all the Facebook groups, so I could see all the major players come, and I could start to understand what the libertarian culture was, because at least in the Libertarian Party, maybe not more broadly, but at least there is a very specific type of culture. And so I basically had this crash course for a year where I got thrown into this. And then on top of it, I happened to be in New Hampshire, where I'm surrounded and am friends with some of the most principled libertarians in the world, like the Free State Project. They're like, people in New Hampshire have moved to New Hampshire to be the most libertarian of all libertarian. So that happens to be the environment that I'm immersed in. And I've had so many amazing conversations and so many amazing teachers. Like Justin O'Donnell has taught me so much. Justin O'Donnell is a fucking legend. And I tell all this to say that a lot of people have made fun of me and they've poo-pooed, like, "Ew, Carolyn just switches parties every once in a while and she's just grifting and blah, blah, blah." And by the way, the idea that you can grift off of the Libertarian Party is about one of the stupidest ideas I've ever heard in my life. I joined the Libertarian Party because they spoke to my ideals. I joined the Libertarian Party because I believed in where the Mises Caucus was going. I have some questions now, but I still think, even with my current issues with Dave Smith and the Mises Caucus, and that is a whole other stream for a whole other day, even with those issues, I still appreciate the direction more than either the Republicans or Democrats. And so as much as people have shit on me for my journey, and by the way, almost everyone that, like, so few people have been a libertarian their entire lives. Libertarians come from the left or they come from the right. It's how people are going to get into the party. But for as many people that have shit on my entry point into the party, they really didn't understand that I was thrown into the gauntlet of libertarianism. And I may not have read all the books, and I may not have read all the authors because, quite frankly, I have been focused almost entirely and exclusively on the schools. But that doesn't mean I haven't picked shit up. And it doesn't mean I don't understand how this all works. And it doesn't mean that I haven't been able to develop my own set of principles, which are, generally speaking, leave me the fuck alone. I have been so blessed. It seemed like a gauntlet. I mean, I cannot even tell, like, I once made Victor. So one of the things that happened in the Libertarian Party is in the state of Delaware, where there was a coup of the Libertarian Party of Delaware. And then there were all sorts of podcasts about the people who staged the coup and how they staged the coup. And then there were judicial committee hearings about the coup to decide who was the rightful owner of the Libertarian Party of Delaware. I once made my husband watch a probably 5 or 6 hour judicial committee hearing just talking about the shenanigans going on with the Libertarian Party of Delaware. And that was the second time I had watched it. And I was doing stuff like that all the time. So this was not something for me that was just a flip thing. This is something that I have committed an extreme amount of time and energy and focus to over the last year and a half. And I have been blessed to be surrounded by a lot of amazing teachers who have taught me how to be principled and how to stick to your guns when it's convenient and when it's inconvenient. I don't think right now Dave Smith is behaving in a principled way, by the way. And he's been a libertarian a lot longer than me, and he can shit talk me and say, well, you just don't know. You just got here, baby libertarian. Okay, fine. But at least I know when you're doing official shit with the Libertarian Party, you don't endorse people from other parties because it's explicitly against the bylaws. And it defeats the purpose. If you want to endorse people from other parties, don't do official shit with the party. It's stuff like that. And I think a lot of people who came in for like the Mises Caucus takeover had a similar experience to me, in that we were thrown into the gauntlet and we had to learn a lot of stuff really, really quickly. And some people have been around for a long time, and some people just became libertarians themselves. But we were put through the ringer together because it was fire after fire after fire after fire after fire. And even if I sometimes disagree with people within like the Libertarian Party, I'll disagree with them and still have a beer with them. Most of the time. But some of these Republican assholes who say they're libertarian and then do not act in any sort of principled way and are constantly shilling for Republicans. And I'm not talking about Thomas Massey. I'm not talking about Ron Paul. I'm talking about shilling for people like Don Bolduc. Don Bolduc is not a libertarian. Don Bolduc is not libertarian in any way. So don't fucking pretend. What you don't understand and continue to be willfully ignorant on is that you are not making the best of a bad situation. You are choosing between two things that are the same. You are choosing between a gray rock and a white rock. They're both still fucking rocks. Do you want this blue rock or do you want this black rock? They're both still fucking rocks. One is not better than the other. One is not worse than the other. They might look slightly different. One might be a little shinier. But functionally, they're both fucking paperweights. They're paperweights. They do the same thing. They function in the same way. They are no different. There is no better or worse paperweight. So I've learned how to stick to my guns, and I've learned how to say right is right and wrong is wrong. And even if I lose, I'm going to say what is right and what is wrong. And it is wrong for Don Bolduc and the conservative press and conservatives in general to lie about assault in order to gain sympathy votes a week before an election. That is wrong. And it is wrong for conservatives to insult anyone who tries to show them video proving emphatically that they are wrong. And it's really disappointing. I expect the left and the Democrats to do stupid shit because they are mindless drones that cannot think for themselves. I expect that. I have higher standards for Republicans because they claim to hold themselves to a higher standard. And then they act like children. You know, when you're taunting Democrats at these things, and probably because they're paid supporters, when you're taunting Democrats, they just don't respond. They just sit there and they go, Maggie, Maggie, Maggie. And you can go up to them with a bullhorn, as I did last week at an HPR, and you can say, why are you supporting putting black and brown people in jail? Why do you want to go to war with Russia? And they just stand there and they go, Maggie, Maggie, Maggie. And same thing over and over again. And it's actually really deeply disturbing because they look like NPCs. They look like they don't have a brain in their head at all. They will not respond to you at all. You can go like this in front of their face. You can go like this. You can like try to get them to flinch. They don't do, which I've done. I actually do that. I will go. I went through the crowd at an HPR last week and I said, and you're a racist, and you're a racist, and you're a racist. And I like targeted right between their eyes, like close enough so that like they probably thought I was going to hit them, but I wasn't actually going to hit them. I would never hit anyone. But like, I want you to think that I am because I want you to flinch. Or I want to provoke you. I want to get you pissed off. I want to get you to do something stupid so I can catch it on camera and use it against you later. But they never do. And they don't even flinch. It's like they're robots. So that's disturbing on a whole other level. And then you have the conservatives who will cry, who will, if you say the same thing to a conservative that you say to a Democrat, I am not making this up. They will whine, they will cry, they will insult you, they will insult your appearance, they will insult your weight, they will call you any name in the book, and as we saw in the video, they might even swing a flagpole at you. They will try to spit on you. I had a woman tell me last night that she had made phone calls about me because she was just so disturbed at my bad behavior. They do everything they can to try to get you to bend the knee to them. Now, I suppose one might argue that at least they're interacting with you on some level. You know that they're human beings. I have no idea what's going on with the Democrats. You know they're human beings. But they're acting like spoiled, entitled toddlers. I don't know which is worse. I have the no whining rule on my channel specifically because of this. I don't know what's worse. I've got the mindless drones to my right. I have the whiny 2-year-old toddlers to my left. Which is worse? I don't know. Derek, thank you for the super chat. You'd be surprised how many people agree with you. Good job, and we've got your back. I really do appreciate that, Derek. Thank you. It's so frustrating. I wish I would hear from more of these people who agree with me, by the way. Because oftentimes the people that and I do think that Derek is right. I do, but like oftentimes the people that agree with you don't say it. And so it just seems like should I send in a super chat to Timcast saying what do you think about Don Bolduc lying about being assaulted last night and there's clear video where he was not assaulted? Maybe I'll send in my own super chat for them to ignore. I just wish there was anyone that had integrity. Part of the reason I'm voting for Jeremy Kaufman, for those who don't know, Libertarian for Senate in New Hampshire, vote for Jeremy. But part of the reason I'm absolutely voting for Jeremy is not just because he makes funny ads. Okay, the ads are great. The ads are fucking brilliant. And if you guys only knew that those ads are completely unscripted, those ads are Jeremy talking off the cuff. Improv. They're improved with Dan Smots. Those ads are fucking brilliant, but that's not why I'm voting for Jeremy. I'm voting for Jeremy because he is a deeply principled person. For all of the mean tweets, for all of the outlandish things that he says that people don't like, for all of the flip remarks, for that time that he told that teenager that he could suck his dick. Oh, well, do you know why they call Jeremy a pedo? There's a backstory to this. Do you know why they call him a pedo? So Jeremy is one of the people that tweets for the LPNH. One of several people. He's not the only one, but he is one of the people that does. And he has the keys to the Twitter. And it was the LPNH's Twitter that originally got it in trouble a year and a half ago when they tried to stage a coup to take over our state party. It was all because of the mean tweets that they didn't like. And so Jeremy was kind of at the center of this coup. And he basically he went and spoke at there were LNC meetings about this, and Jeremy went and gave like public comment at the LNC meetings just saying like we're just trying to get attention, this is how we're doing it. He's actually a completely reasonable person and he will talk to you in a completely reasonable way. But he went to these LNC meetings and he made public statements about why we're tweeting the way we are, and it is a strategy. It is not just for shit posting. There is intention behind it, all that stuff. Well, there were a lot of people who gave public comment that night. And one of them, I think he was like 16 or 17 years old, but it's not like he said he was a teenager. He didn't say he was under the age of 18, okay? Libertarians do not believe in age of consent laws, as an aside, just generally speaking. That's not because they want to sleep with kids. It's just like it's a principled stance, and you can go listen to Mark Victor talk about it if you want to. So this 16 or 17-year-old kid basically made a public comment at the LNC meeting against Jeremy. But he didn't say he was 16 or 17. And then Jeremy told him to suck his dick. And then this kid went on Twitter and he said, "Can you believe this person told a 16 or 17-year-old to suck his dick?" And Jeremy responded something to the effect of, "If you're old enough to make a public comment in a political meeting against me, you are old enough to suck my dick." And that is how and why They call Jeremy a pedophile to this day. Because he made a joke. That's why. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate it. Thank you for dropping by. But no, Jeremy is not a pedophile. And Jeremy has like 3 kids and has one on the way. He's about to have 4 kids. He's just a dad. Really smart dad. But no, the reason I'm voting for him is he is a deeply principled person and he thinks about these issues. He thinks about them in depth and he, I'm always fascinated to hear what Jeremy has to say on a topic because I know it's coming from an extremely thoughtful place and he is one of the people that I've learned a lot from. I mean, God, Jeremy is like the master of politicking. And I know what he's doing. Like I understand like politicking and interpersonal stuff. I don't always choose to do it because I'm simply not inclined. But Jeremy is a master at this. And I really wish a lot of people would put aside some of the more edgy things that he says and does and listen to the content of what he was saying because they would learn so much. And I don't want Jeremy to stop being an edgelord. I think Jeremy as an edgelord, the way he goes about it is compelling. It's interesting. It makes you think. It pisses you off sometimes, and sometimes that's a good thing. So that's why I'm voting for him. It's not because of the ads. It's not because he's an edgelord. It's because he is one of the people that I've just learned a lot from and I respect him and I think he has a lot of integrity. And I don't always agree with him and he sure as shit doesn't always agree with me. But like, he is someone that I trust to make a thoughtful call on any issue and have it come from a deeply principled place. That is why he's getting my vote. And there is no doubt in my mind that Jeremy Kauffman, even if it meant winning an election, would never do what Don Bolduc did last night and lie and try to put an innocent person in jail. He would never do that. It wouldn't even occur to him as a possibility. Like, I don't think that he's opposed to like staging things and doing antics, but there is a fucking line. And last night, Don Bolduc crossed that line. I'm sorry. If I had any sympathy for us spoiling this race for him before, I no longer have it. And maybe we'll be able to do it and maybe we won't be able to. Maybe the momentum for the Republicans is just too much. I don't know. But I will not feel bad if Don Bolduc loses. In any way. Well, there is polling out now that has Jeremy at 4%, and 4% has always been the goal, guys. For those who don't know, my gubernatorial run was like, it was basically to have someone's name on the ballot for governor, and maybe that hits 4% by accident, but there's been a wrinkle in that they tried to sabotage us by running another libertarian for governor, and it's just making things a lot harder, and so we kind of stopped like even doing anything around my thing. I still speak to issues sometimes, that's fine, but like really the focus on this has been getting Jeremy over 4% because 4% is what gets us ballot access. 4% is what gets us major party status in New Hampshire. He's polling at 4% now. And typically they underpoll libertarians, so we'll see. But that's all I really have to say. I'm really disappointed in a lot of people right now. I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed. So, I don't know. Does anyone have any questions or anything? Let me check it on my other channels, my other platforms. Oh, I see Purple Daffodil over on Rumble says, I disliked Don Bolduc as soon as he recanted on the election. where, of course, everything was perfect in the election. Yeah, Don Bolduc flip-flopped on election integrity literally the day after he won his primary. Up until the primary, Don Bolduc was like, stolen election, stolen election, stolen election. And then after the primary, Don Bolduc was like, the election was great and perfectly handled, and Joe Biden is the legitimate president of the United States. That was the day after the primary. No, YouTube, I'm not saying the election was stolen because it obviously wasn't. I'm saying what Don Bolduc was saying. I'm demonstrating that Don Bolduc is a flip-flopper. And he's been flip-flopping on everything. The man will say whatever he needs to say to win an election, and that is someone to me that is very dangerous. Now, is Maggie Hassan any better? No. But devil you know versus devil you don't. Maggie Hassan is not actually the worst senator in the world. She's not. I'm sorry. She's not. She's pretty centrist. Uh-oh. Hang on, I want to check something. Medium just suspended my account. Medium.com just suspended my account for hateful conduct. I have been kicked off of Medium. Isn't that funny? I knew that was coming, by the way. I suspected that would come at some point. They said that I glorified violence or some such shit. Which, of course, I didn't do, but... I wonder if I can appeal this. I knew I was going to get suspended on. I don't really use Medium, so I don't really care. Medium is where my original Trump rally article was posted. I was like, they're not even giving me a way to appeal this? Wow. My account is under investigation or was found in violation of Medium's rules. Can I even see my articles? I kind of want my Trump rally article. Is that still public? Hang on. I'm just checking to see if I can still access my Trump rally article from like a non-signed in source. No, I can't. Oh my God. My Trump rally article. Oh man. Well, that sucks. But I knew it was going to come. I wonder what they got me for. It was probably the one on pedophilia. Well, they gave me an archive link to download. Download my archive. Medium archive. Dropbox. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to make like a PDF of this article or something. At least I'll always have it. Oh, maybe not. Does it let me? Oh, no. Oh, wow. Okay, it's not even letting me see my article anymore. Well, that sucks. The article that started it all. Unceremoniously gone. You know, there are worse things in the world, I suppose. I wonder if I'm able to get into it on the back end. I wonder what I wrote that defied their... I mean, I've written a couple things about pedos. I've written about indoctrinating kids. I've written about my hatred of Matt Walsh. I've written about Twitter driving people insane. They just they nixed me because I wrote about the pedos. I bet you it's in the pedos. Oh yeah, I bet it's I bet someone archived it somewhere. I'm sure it's archived somewhere. Oh man, that kind of sucks. Can I get into it? Can I edit it? I got it. I think I got it. They're not giving me any way to appeal though, and that kind of sucks. Yeah, I think I got it. I just want to save this as a PDF. All right. Well, that's all I really care about, my Trump rally article. I'll republish it on Substack. I'll be like, it does suck that I lost all my stats though. Well, whatever. There are worse things in the world. I'll just republish it on my Red Pill Diaries Substack. That way I'll always have it. I mean, listen, like, for as much as things have changed since that Trump rally article, the reality is that Trump rally article was pivotal. And I really wish they had not conned me into changing the title because, fun fact, my Trump rally article was the #1 article on all of Medium for like a week after I posted it. Like, how crazy is that? So it was a pivotal moment. And I would actually like to keep my Trump rally article. So I'm going to be republishing it because at least I have access to it. And I have the archive to it that I've downloaded. So whatever. I don't really care if I lost my account on Medium. I do wonder what did it. Oh, well. All right, guys. That's all I have. Yeah, well, it is like completing a circle. It is. It's like completing a cycle. I didn't really care about my Medium account anyway, if I'm honest about it. I care about my Substack accounts far more. Substack has, let me ask you guys' opinion. So Substack, so I have several different Substack blogs because I wanted to keep things separate and I wanted to keep different content streams separate. And I like Substack a lot, by the way. Substack is like, I really, 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 really like how they're developing Substack. I think it's going to be really amazing. They're doing it very pragmatically and they're being thoughtful about it and they're launching features that are actually, I don't know, useful. But one of the features they have is within the same Substack, you can have like several different newsletters that people can subscribe to. And so I've thought about consolidating all my newsletters into one Substack and just having several different types of content. But I also do like the idea of having just different brand properties that people can subscribe to. So you can get the Unwoke stuff with carlin.substack.com. You can get the trigger stuff with artofthetrigger.substack.com. You can get my spirituality stuff with disenraged.substack.com. And I like the idea of having the different content streams that people can subscribe to and support and do whatever they want. And I think I like that better than consolidating it under one. But let me know your thoughts. That's kind of a quandary that I'm working through right now. I think I'm probably going to keep them separate, mostly because I just have way too much stuff to do and I don't feel like dealing that would be a very low priority on my list. I have to build a whole online class by January. Anyway, that's really all I have to say. I'm really disappointed. Phil, I haven't even, when did you send it? Like recently? Let me see. Let me see, Phil. Oh, the clips. The clips. Oh, the Roe v. Wade one. Hang on. I don't know. Phil, I don't know that I see the Roe v. Wade one. I feel like I got it, but I just can't find it. I can't. Oh, Google Drive. Sorry, Google Drive. Okay, sorry. Got it. It was in a different place. Well, okay, so here's what I can do. What I can do is I can upload it to YouTube and have it go through a copyright check and see. So let me just download it. I'm downloading it now, Phil. Oh, God. Phil, this is fucking amazing. I know you guys can't see what I'm looking at right now, but it's hilarious. All right, how do I download this? I need to download it somehow. I'll figure that out in a second. Great work, Phil. Why exactly do I suck, sweetbread? Why exactly is that? Do you have any argument at all, or are you just here to troll like every other damn conservative? Probably waited 5 minutes to subscribe to the channel just so you could tell me I suck. Mega forever! So Sweetbread here is exactly the conservative that I've been talking about for the last 2 hours. Isn't that nice of him to give us a real-world example of how this works? That might be. I emailed Medium and asked them. Sweetbread is going to get blocked because fuck that. All right, guys. Well, tomorrow is Friday, and we will be doing happy hour. I don't know if I'm doing, I might do a socialism happy hour because I don't know if I'm going to do socialism Saturday because Victor and I are going to go to watch V for Vendetta on Saturday with the LPNH. It's going to be rad. Also, our anniversary, 11 years. I've been married 11 years. That's crazy. I cannot believe that I've been married for 11 fucking years. But I have to say, my marriage has never been better. The bullshit with a Twitter horde trying to break up my marriage completely backfired in epic, epic, epic fashion. Never been better. Never been happier. Married to the best guy in the world. Will cut his balls off if he ever tries to leave. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. See, the thing about me and my husband is we both hate dating so much and like are kind of like lazy about all this stuff. So it's like we haven't had a fight in years, not in probably 6-7 years. But if we ever did get into a fight, it's one of those things. It's like, is my anger in this moment going to outweigh the fact that I'm kind of lazy about dating and being around other people? So guys, we are going to do happy hour tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a socialism video. We'll do socialism Friday or something like that. I'll have to figure that out. But thank you for hanging out with me and listening to me rant a little bit. And yeah, take care, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Mount that like button on your way out the door. Subscribe if you haven't already.